Hey everybody, it's Grant, and welcome to my newest 8 units. So we are back at Louisiana Avenue, where I actually started my very first video on this channel. Let's show a little B-roll of just that as I introduce this property. So I bought a fourplex in 2020 with the land to build 16 more units. And now, as you've seen, I've taken you the entire journey of this entire property, from all the struggles and the hurricanes and everything that is possibly could have went wrong, pretty much did, like 400% on building material. Whatever it could have been, still kicked us in the teeth. We still kept going, and guess what? We are on our last 8 units. This is the first video of this series. I can't wait to show it to you. Let's get into it. So I've taken you through every step of this entire build process. I showed you how long it's taken you to do a job like this. It's taken me over 2 years. And then don't worry, I'm actually gonna have a video at the end of this video series that I'll just do one of the entire complex, because this is now my biggest complex I've ever built. It's got 21 units that I own, 24 units total, and we'll talk about that in that video as well. So stay tuned for that. I think you'll really enjoy it. And I'll do the numbers and how much this entire complex brings in, because that's really what we're all here for. But guess what? On video 3 of this one, I'll cover the numbers on these 8, so that way you can see whether you're gonna buy 8 units, a fourplex, or 21 units, what it'll really bring in. So if you're seeing me for the very first time, I've been in the real estate game since I was 18 years old. I ended up moving out of my mother's house because, you know, she said I couldn't have girls over. I started selling cars, I was making good money, and somehow I got a loan, right? I ended up having a job as a salesperson, making 75 grand a year, and I was actually a porter at that same dealership right before that. So my average income was enough to get me a half of a duplex, where I ended up living in that duplex. $555 a month is what I was paying. And, you know, I just said, man, I'd actually like to have somebody pay for my mortgage. So I ended up building a duplex at 19, living in half, renting the other half, and I stayed there for a good portion of my adult life. But that journey from 18 years old till now 32 has turned into bigger projects. I have had a lot of blessings in my life that have allowed me to do these things, and I like to show you. So if you're looking to build, I got you right there. You're gonna be able to see how much I build for. You're gonna be able to see how much price increases kicked me in the teeth. You're gonna be able to see how I buy properties. If you tune in this channel, I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's basically real estate lab class. We get that comment quite a bit here on the channel. So let's get into today's video on today's newest 8, video 1. So the main point of this video, besides just the initial build process of these properties, would be step 1, price increases. After we got the slabs poured for this beautiful property, they ended up sitting for 2 months. We sat for 2 months, and it wasn't really a mutual agreement. It was for the simple fact that price increases had went up over 400% since we built the other 8 units. Now those other 8 units are a little bigger. Those other 8 units are 3 bedrooms. So there's a little bit more wood, a little bit more this, a little bit more that involved. And yet they cost less than these that are just a few square feet smaller, but yet they cost me over $60,000 more in the beginning. And then we're still arguing over a price issue that I'm gonna get into video 3 currently. So after we poured the slabs, it was literally in the middle of the pandemic where everything was going crazy. And you know what? Building materials went up over 400%. It was like watching the stock market in the Great Recession just go up and go down and go crazy every which way. And it never went down enough. It was always like, oh, you know, like right now, gas prices were $5 a gallon, and then now they're down like 30 cents. Everybody's like, oh, they're down. No, they're still up. They're still quite a bit up, right? So that's the thing here. They were up and down and left and right, and eventually we ended up building for double the price that it cost us to build the ones before. But you either let it sit or you keep moving and hope for the best. You know, that was a situation where I guess the point of this is I just didn't know what was gonna happen next. Who knows if building prices are ever gonna come back down to where they were, even though as of right now, they have leveled out to what I was building for when I built the original 8 units to the back of here. So after we actually bit the bullet and paid for the additional framing cost, which when you're doing that, yeah, well, granted, it spreads over 21 units, but at the same time, the biggest fear here is when prices level off and I built for too much, that just means I overpaid for a pre-owned vehicle. That means I overpaid for a watch. And when the market readjusts, it's market value. So I might lose out. So basically this additional $50,000 that they're billing me to build these units currently right? I might just lose that money. It might be equity I don't have anymore because it's not going to appreciate more. And chances are I'm right on that, and they're not going to appreciate that extra 50,000 bucks. It's just you built to keep building, right? So you got to make these choices, these hard choices that might not always feel right, and it still doesn't, but I'm very happy we finally did it. And here is, after we frame them, the biggest mistake I have ever had in my real estate career. So the property sat for 2 months. Yeah, building materials went up 400%, then leveled down to 200%. Thanks. And just to explain, plywood, right? Plywood originally, before 2015, was $7 a sheet. After 2015, it was about $15, $12 a sheet. During this process, it went as high as $75 a sheet. Yeah, we've all seen those memes. If you forgot, I'm gonna take you somewhere nice, hardware store, right? But here's the thing. They built and plumbed, which is concrete and pipes, and they concrete around the pipes for the 3-bedroom design for these 2 bedrooms. So yeah, they poured my slabs on the wrong plan. No big deal. No. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. So after saw cutting concrete, after furrowing, is that what the word is? Furrowing walls? Furring out?
Floating?
No, furring, where they add a little bit of wood. Pretty sure that's the name. I've never had to do that before because, you know, we built them right. So after doing all this, cutting all which ways, which you're seeing it right here in the B-roll, we finally got them blacked in. We finally got them going. At least we didn't get hit by hurricanes, but there was still some issues. So as you can see, even if you think that person's on top of the game, they still go through struggles, they still go through headaches, and you still gotta make really hard choices because, you know, it's either build or not to build, right? It's like Shakespeare, except with money. And honestly, I still think by building them, I'm gonna be bringing in that revenue. If I would've waited, prices could have went up even more. Yeah, sure, you might say 50,000, but how much do you lose out on the rental income? So all that being said, we don't do outros anymore, but wait till video 2. There's a ton more information coming. Video 3, we're gonna cover the numbers, and video 4, we're gonna cover this entire project, my biggest project ever. I'm so happy to have you here along on the journey. We got shirts now, we're official. I believe in you. I hope you have a fantastic afternoon, and I'll see you on video 2.